This show contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Movies with Ron, movies with Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Movies with Ron.
I went to go see Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
We go to those theaters where you reserve the seats.
Yeah.
Order it online. Greatest invention ever. We do our sodas. We go into the theater. Go up to the top row because that's what I like. There's two old ladies sitting in our seats.
Oh.
Yeah. And I do that dance where I'm like, I already know they're in our seats, but I still look at all the numbers on the cup holders as I'm going down the row. They see me and they're like, she lost our tickets. Pointing at the other old lady. So we forgot where our seats are. So if you could just, sit somewhere else.
Oh.
No shit.
No shit. Now they're like two old ladies and they're comfortable. One of them even brought a blanket. And I'm like, and my girlfriend's standing right there and she's getting ready to blast off.
Ooh.
She's fuming. I'm like, yeah, then I gotta wait till some guy walks up to me and feels what I'm feeling right now.
You said that to him?
Yeah. And the one on the left, she has decided, okay, we're gonna get up. And the one on the right is like, she starts moving slower. She's not happy.
Uh-huh.
I'm standing there with the girlfriend. We're trying not to make eye contact. They get up and go. So we sit down and sit in their butt warmth. And I'm feeling, I don't know if I should feel guilty or not because they're two old ladies.
I know.
And it's like, we're young and we invented this. So stop losing your fucking tickets. Right before the movie's about to start, this couple comes up to him and they're like, you're in our seats. They're about my age, and they make them get up. Welcome to episode 115 of Movies with Ron, the podcast where my older brother recaps a movie from beginning to end, for me and you, because we like his versions better. It's okay if you've seen the movie or not. The experience is unique. So let's get it on. I'm Chris, your MC for the time being. Here with me tonight, Nurse Candy.
Hey, everybody.
And here he is, folks.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Ron.
Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, guys. Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 115.
Woohoo.
Woof.
And say hi to Angela Gilmore. She liked the Facebook page.
Hello, Angela.
Hey, Angie. Welcome to the show.
We're now on Spotify and iHeartRadio.
All right.
All right. I love Spotify.
I was testing it out on iHeartRadio. Had to sit through a goddamn advertisement.
Nice.
We don't get any of that money.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Well, it is damn close to Halloween.
Yeah, this is the Halloween episode.
I know. I love watching horror movies on Halloween.
Hell yeah.
What's your go-to Halloween horror movie?
I don't think I have one.
Really? You just find whatever's on?
Yeah.
It's never satisfying to me. Like, I need my go-to scary movie.
Yeah, I've been training Heather's daughter in the ways of horror movies. And it's so fun to be able to show her this crap for the very first time.
That's great.
Like, she was like, I want to watch the Halloween movies. And I was like, they're horrible. No, I'm just kidding. They're okay. And she wanted to go see this new Halloween movie. Mm-hmm. But, man, you can't do that unless you're ready.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You have to see the first one.
So I showed her the first one the other night. And she loved it.
The first one's really interesting. Like, everyone loved the true crime aspect. Like, it was...
Yes. Yeah.
You kind of just follow along behind people.
Sure.
And it hadn't really been done before. It was just a psycho killer. And people liked the kills at the time, but nowadays they're just...
Very vanilla.
Yeah. I would only watch it to get ready for this new one coming up. But what makes it special is the wide shots.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is John Carpenter. And he really made the most of, like, filming a movie that takes place all in the suburbs.
Yeah, man.
And Laurie Strode looking out the window and watching Michael Myers just walking up to a random house or a friend's house. Like, that's the scary shit.
Uh-huh.
And it's all really well done. I think the second one's not too bad either. I watched the second one. All takes place in a hospital.
Yep.
You know, back in the days in hospitals, they'd turn the lights out, like to let people sleep.
Yeah.
Like, it all takes place in the dark. And I'm watching it going, man, turn the fucking lights on. This is a goddamn hospital.
You guys like the third one? The black sheep of the series?
I grew up with the third one.
Yeah,
And I always loved it.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad myself. You know? It's obviously not really part of the thing, but I don't think it's a bad movie.
No.
I think it's more appropriate these days because we all love this anthology stuff everyone's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Speaking of John Carpenter, he said there's going to be a They Live sequel.
No.
Seriously?
Seriously.
It's probably going to be starring The Rock.
That was the interviewer's next question. Seriously?
Yeah.
And he couldn't confirm it. He was like, well, we'll see what happens. I'd only tell you that to plug our They Live episode to the listeners out there.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
What's he puts the glasses on and he sees all the billboards. What's all that shit say?
It's like consume.
Yeah, it's like the subliminal shit that's affecting people that the aliens are in control of. Candy, you know, I got him a birthday card once. I got Ron a birthday card, bought it online, and it was all white, and it just said, "Stay asleep." And you open it, and there's some cash in it, and it's like, consume. I thought it was so special. Then it's Ron's birthday, and he's like drunk as shit. He's like about to pass out on the bed, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta give him his card. So I give it to him, and he's like, what's it say? He couldn't even read it.
Well, you know. Yeah, I remember finding it like the next day, and I was like, who the fuck gave me this? This is the coolest birthday card I ever had.
All right, The Evil Dead, 1981.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I never wanted to do this movie ever.
Why? Because the second one's so much better.
Well, the second one is way better. But everybody talks about Evil Dead, you know?
Yeah.
So, number one, I didn't want to be a Johnny-come-lately, and number two, whatever. It's kind of played out. But we got a special request from our nephew, Cam.
All
right, Cam.
Good choice, Cam.
No longer the cutest little boy you've ever seen who says to you, I want to watch Dougal. Now he's like, yeah, I want some, I'd like some Evil Dead. So you know what? This one's for you, Cam.
Written and directed by Sam Raimi.
You gotta love him.
Yeah. What's not to love about him?
Oh, yes.
Spider-Man.
He did fine with Spider-Man.
Eh.
He made Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. It's just still one of the best superhero movies ever.
I was never a fan of Toby.
No, me neither.
Well, that's Toby's fault.
The Evil Dead is my Halloween go-to movie.
Yeah?
That's the truth. I always get tempted to watch Evil Dead 2, but The Evil Dead, it's its own, it's different.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was meant to be scary.
Absolutely.
And it is scary. Still, to this day, I think it's scary.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of gross.
It is gross.
It's like claymation gross.
The makeup was fantastic. Those contact lenses.
Yeah.
Man.
Have you guys ever seen the little 30-minute short film that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell made to gain investors for this movie? It's called Within the Woods. And Bruce Campbell and the actress that played his sister Cheryl, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And they're at a secluded cabin, which is not this cabin. So it's like some guy's house. And it just looks all modern and weird. And I think it was Sam Raimi. You can watch this on YouTube, but it's pretty dark and really low quality. Sam Raimi and his girlfriend are in the house like the whole time playing Monopoly, while Bruce Campbell and his girlfriend go out for a picnic, and he has to dig a fire pit, and he digs up a fucking Indian burial ground. And then he becomes possessed, and he's the one who's coming after Cheryl. And she's like the final girl. And in this short film, you can see all these little things that are in the final movie, The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So, how long he had that, script in mind. It was really cool to watch.
I'll have to check it out.
They probably did a good job with it because they raised $350,000
Hell yeah.
to make The Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell is amazing.
As always.
Kind of sealed his fate.
Yes, he did.
They all dropped out of school to make this movie.
Oh.
So, Sam Raimi was like, I realize what you've done for me. And you can be in every one of my movies.
Bruce Campbell's favorite movie is Bridge on the River Kwai. And his favorite part is the glory hole part. That was our 100th episode, by the way. He was almost Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
In the script, they had this scene where everyone was supposed to be smoking a doobie.
Yeah.
It was like before they listened to the tape.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, have everyone smoke weed and listen to the Hell tape when they're at their most paranoid.
Yeah.
It'll totally work. So the actors were like, let's really smoke weed. Right? They all smoked weed and ruined the whole day.
Oh, no.
They couldn't control the actors. But I haven't seen the first movie in forever. I always go straight to 2.
Really?
Yeah, it's got the skull with the eyeballs on the front cover.
Yeah, on the cover. That's always been my favorite.
Of course.
It's the one where he puts a chainsaw on his severed stump.
Of course.
It's amazing, but the original Evil Dead, it has this creepy, raw quality to it with the old cabin, and everything's just so realistic.
Yeah.
And they're in the woods. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
To this day. Still love it.
All right, folks.
Join us.
Because it's The Evil Dead on Movies with Ron.
It's showtime.
All right, like all the best movies, this one starts out with the buzzing of flies. And then it's actually a nice change. The font that comes in for the title card of the movie, it's like shimmering water, and underneath it says, The Evil Dead? And now we're in the forest. And it's just the camera moving through the forest. It's all, whoa, something evil's happening, right? It's going through the woods, going through the swamp. It's turning all sharp and shit. And then we just cut to the old yellow 73 Oldsmobile Delta.
Woohoo!
It's in every single one of Raimi's movies. Even The Quick and the Dead.
Oh.
Rolling down a lonely backwoods road, okay? And inside the car are 5 people. Driving is Scott next to his girlfriend, Shelley. And they're like singing some stupid-ass song that Sam Raimi wrote. And in the back seat, we have Bruce Campbell playing good old ass. Next to his girlfriend Linda in the middle. And on the other side, in the back seat, ladies and gentlemen, it is Otis from The Last Starfighter.
Oh.
Shit.
You say your name is Ass? Is his name Ass? Mm-hmm. And this POV shot's continuing through the woods. Scott is driving like shit. Drives like an asshole. Hey, Ass, where are we? Ass looking at a map, and he's like, well, let's see. Okay, we just crossed the Tennessee border, which should put us... Yeah? Put us right... And then Scott, turns around. What the hell are you saying? And now there's this big-ass truck coming. Put us right here. Truck almost runs him over. Everybody screams. Ass in the back is like, "Man, what are you doing? You trying to kill us? Don't blame me, man. It's your damn car. The steering wheel jerked right out of my hand." "I don't understand, you guys. I just brought it in for a tune-up yesterday. They said they'd go over everything, and that is not how it works." "Yeah, well, you better take it back, because the damn thing don't work. Only thing that does work is this lousy horn. Beep, beep." And as he beeps it, they're passing by these two fishermen on the side of the road that are like waving to him.
Yeah.
Turns out that's Sam Raimi and his buddy.
Oh, yeah.
"Ah, go to hell. I'm not honking at you."
Bruce Campbell is so ridiculously young
I know.
when you first see him in this movie. He even still has a unibrow. Like, he hasn't fully cleaned up yet.
That's right. Now, his girlfriend, Linda, she plays like a blonde kind of cheerleadery type.
Yeah.
And she said when she got the role, she was like, she saw Bruce Campbell, she was like, "I get to play his girlfriend." All right. So she's like, "Hey, Scotty, what's this place like anyway?" At this point, Scotty is now drinking a jar of moonshine. It's easy to miss, but yeah. Well, the guy, I'm renting it from, he says it's an old place. It's a little run down, but it's right up in the mountains, and the best part is we get it so cheap. "Yeah, why are we getting it so cheap?" "I don't know. Maybe it's in real bad shape, but whatever." And then Otis. "What the hell? You mean ain't nobody seen this place yet?" "Well, not yet." Calm down, man. It might not be that bad. It's probably a real pit." "Hey, Scotty, this is where we turn off." And they have to take a bridge. And there's this big sign that just says, "Dangerous bridge. Own risk." And it is like some rickety ass shit.
Yeah.
And don't worry, everybody, it's solid as a rock. And as they're driving across it, like one of the boards falls out and the tire just falls down into it. Ass like pokes his head out. And he's like looking down. But Scotty, cool guy, he just speeds through it. So it's all good. And now they're driving down like a grass dirt road, through the middle of the forest. And Otis is skeptical. They finally pull up to this cabin, and it's this shithouse little cabin.
Oh, yeah.
And you just hear dung, 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 dung. And they all get out, and the banging is the porch swing, just like swinging over and over and hitting the house. Okay?
Yeah.
They all get out like, this it? Scotty walks up to the door. He's like, no one else follows him. They're all just standing there staring at it. What the hell? He's like kind of nervous. He looks at that swing that's banging on the fucking wall. I don't know what's going on there. The keys, yeah, they're on top of the door. They're just kept there. It's supposed to be one of these, okay? And then all of a sudden, the swing just stops moving. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. Now think about that. The absence of a noise used as a scare.
Yeah.
Great.
Right? Well, as soon as the swing stops, Scott's like, and then Otis is like, "Y'all see that shit?" "Oh, hell no." Mm-mm. Scotty unlocks the door and he opens, he goes in and it's all like dusty inside. There's like, they had smoke, in there for the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's power because he turns the lights right on. No problem. So he walks around. We get our first little tour of it. There's a deer head on the wall. There's clocks and shit. He's exploring while the gang is like pulling the bags out of the car. He even goes into the spooky old shed outside. It's like got chains hanging from the ceiling and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like weird old rusty tools. But the lights work. I don't understand that. So he leaves, and now we're all inside the house, and it's sundown. Otis is sitting by the window. He's like, looking outside. But now he's watching the clock on the wall, and he's got a sketch pad. And he's sketching that clock, and he is not too shabby. He's just sitting there drawing it, and he's like humming to himself. And now, all of you people. And the clock's like tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. And it just stops. He's like, what? There's like wind blowing in the window, and he's like, oh, shit. Outside, we hear this real low Join us. He's like, the hell's that? And then all of a sudden his hand like starts moving on the page of his sketchbook. And, it's got this pencil and he's like doing automatic drawing.
Yeah.
And it's drawing so hard that he's like scratching into the paper. It's cool. And he ends up drawing this like weird boxy shaped thing with like these two big eyes on it, And he stops and the wind stops. He just looks down at this drawing and he's like, oh, some shit happening here. I don't know. He puts the pad down and then he sees the cellar door, which is just a trap door right there in the living room. Okay. Like, glung, 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 like moving, like there's something in it trying to get out.
Ooh.
Okay. No, that's fucking scary. You guys. Yeah. It's like, oh shit. And then it just stops. And we cut to dinner time. And everybody's like sitting around the table. They got like bowls of corn and shit. Like who brings corn? But there's lots of booze. Some kind of soup, dictators. Why not? And Scott, he's like screwing with Otis. Dead bodies in the cellar. Man, stop it. Man, Otis, why'd you come anyway? The sexuals. Yeah, but with who? You didn't bring anybody. And then Otis just stares blankly into Scott's eyes. And Scott's like, what? Ass stands up. Hey, you guys, I'd like to make a toast. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Well, as a Greek friend of mine once said, nis tu tarim, which means... And then Scott is so cool. He's like got his jar of moonshine and he goes, party down, yeah. And everybody's like, woo! Okay. And then there's the first like really cool shot of the movie. It's just like Shelley sipping her drink when the cellar door in the background just slams open.
Shit.
Everybody's like, whoa, what the hell? They go and look. Oh, I told y'all. I told you. Mm-hmm. Ass and Linda. They're kind of spooked out. She's holding on to him. What the hell is this? And whatever it is, it's still down there. So they're all just staring at this spooky cellar. Except Otis, who is just staring at Scotty. Scotty notices. And he's like, oh, man. I don't like cellars, man. Just close it up, y'all. Oh, come on. It's probably an animal or something like that. An animal? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, ladies and gentlemen, Scotty. I love Scotty. He's like the unsung hero of this movie. It's just so lovably obnoxious.
Yes.
Well, something's down there. And Scotty's like, here's the flashlight, Otis. Why don't you go check it out? Scotty! No! Okay, cowards, I'll go. So Scotty goes down the steps, and he just disappears. Okay, and they're all like, hello? Scotty? Yeah, he's probably just kidding around. Ass takes a lantern to go and find him. And down in the cellar, yep, it is dark, scary, and cobwebby. It's all full of dirty stuff and junky, old shit. And you just hear the sound of water dripping. Boink, 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 boink. All over, right?
It's unnerving.
Yeah. Ass is a champ. Scotty! And then he turns around and there's a door down there. Okay, that is obviously just slammed shut.
Oh.
And it's a spooky door, right? So he walks up to it and slowly turns the knob and creaks it open. It goes into a room that has all of these gourds hanging from the ceiling. Like, where do you get these gourds? And why do you need them? In case I ever time travel and need to hold water or something.
Gourds are expensive nowadays.
Are they?
Yeah.
So he's exploring and then, boom! Scotty.
Yeah.
Scares the hell out of him. Hey, come on, man. I want to show you something. Look at all this stuff. He takes him into this other room, and there's like The first thing you notice is the Hills Have Eyes poster on the wall.
Yeah.
You guys know why that's there?
Yeah, there's like a war with Wes Craven.
Sure.
Yeah, they hated each other. They put
Did they?
each other's props in their movies to make each other's films meaningless in their world.
Oh, yeah. That's why the poster is ripped. But it began because Wes Craven put a ripped poster of Jaws in The Hills Have Eyes, as if to say, my movie's scarier than that.
Yeah.
So that's why Sam was like, oh yeah, fuck you. So they find this old Winchester single-barrel shotgun. Hey, I bet this still shoots. Yeah, I'll bet it does. Ass is going through some notebook that he found, right? So he doesn't see Scotty, like, point the shotgun at his face. And he notices it. Whoa! Hey, come on, man. He's like that shitty buddy everybody has, you know?
Yeah.
And then Ass finds this nasty-ass book. And it's gross looking, and it has a set of balls hanging off of the front. It's got a ball sack hanging off of the front. And all of a sudden, we, the viewer, are like, oh, that's what Otis drew. Thought they were eyeballs at the time. Oh, God, look at this. Ass, like, pages through it, and they're just like, skulls and demons, and then for like, a third of the book, and the rest of it is just dicks. Some of them have wings. And then Scotty finds the coolest dagger ever. It's just like a knife, but the handle is all like a skeleton with an open mouth and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, right? Hey, this kind of looks like your old girlfriend. And Ass is like, yeah, yeah. Well, let's take everything upstairs. I'll take this big heavy tape recorder and you carry everything else. Like, see, he's still a good guy, Scotty.
Yeah.
You could say, you take the big heavy tape recorder and I'll carry the gun and the knife. So it cuts to the fireplace and they're all sitting around laughing, right? And like they've already been talking about other stuff and Scotty's like in the middle of telling a story. I mean, this guy was a real turd, Everybody hated him. And then Shelley's like, kind of like you, right? And Scott goes, yeah, just like me. I'm going to break your face. And the words, I'm going to break your face, I think those were kind of an 80s thing. No?
That's what he said?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
He says it to his girlfriend. I'm going to break your face. Ass plays the recorder, and there's this old guy. It's been a number of years since we excavated the ruins of Dildar. And Dildar, where have we heard that name before? It's the Beastmaster.
That's right.
So obviously, King Dildar, had a kingdom, and it rose and fell, and now the ruins have been excavated. The Evil Dead is a sequel.
Nice.
Now me and my wife have retreated to the secluded cabin in the mountains, where I can continue my research undisturbed. I believe I've made a significant find in the Dildarian ruins, a book of the sexual practices of ancient Dildarians, bound in human flesh. Otis, looks at the balls. He's like, he gives him a little bop with his finger. Huh. And the guy's talking about demons and incantations, and the demons lie dormant, and through this book, they can possess the living. Okay, turn this off. Turn it off now. Hey, man, Otis, you suck. Them sexy spell words. No. Scotty's like, yes, I want to hear the sexy spell words. He plays it, and it's like, dilda, dilda. And yep, something wakes up out in the woods. Oh. There's red light coming from under the leaves and shit and smoke. Really cool. Turn it off! And then the window breaks and a branch comes through it.
Oh.
Everybody freaks out and runs. It's just Ass and Scotty, and he's like, God, Scott! You knew you were freaking him out! Screw him. He's acting like he's 3 years old. Why did you bring him? He seemed like such a cool guy at that trailer park. He said we were going to have nice times. I don't know. I figured he had weed. Anyway, a storm begins outside. And then we cut to Ass and Linda. Ass and Linda! And they're on the couch getting cozy. And he's like sitting there looking at her like, yeah, here we are. And she's just sitting there like eating tortilla chips. Say, Linda, why don't we stay up and, listen to the storm for a while? What? Why don't we stay up and listen to the storm together? Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on, I'm out of chips. And she leaves. While she's gone, he gets out a little box, like a jewelry box, okay? And he's like, he's obviously been planning something. And he's now's the time. She comes back, she's got the whole bag of chips with her. And he's pretending to sleep. And he's got the box just sitting on his leg. And she's like, And there's this big, 5-minute long sequence where he's faking sleeping, but then looking at her when she's looking at the box and whatnot.
Yeah.
Finally, she catches him, and she takes the box. He's like, stealing from the blind, huh? Yeah, this is for you. So she opens it up and pulls out a necklace. Candy, what's on the necklace?
It's a small magnifying glass, right?
Oh, man.
What?
And it's a set of boobs. And it really is. I didn't just make that up. Yeah, I saw it and I thought of you. Oh, how sweet.
How big are these boobs?
They're just, a small set of silver boobs.
Okay.
Here, help me put it on. So he puts it on her and it's all romantic. Oh, ass. I'll never take it off. So then they start making out and getting cozy by the fire, off in the house. Man, who ate all the goddamn chips? But now we're outside the window looking in at Ass and Linda, and we move to the side. Okay, obviously this evil presence is a peeping. We go to the next window. Inside, Scott and Shelley. They got the rubber sheets going on. Scott is so excited. She's like, all right, come on. And Scott just gets on the bed on all fours, and she gets up there behind him. And then the camera just moves on to the next window. In there, we see Otis in his bathrobe, listening against the wall. He's trying to hear what they're doing in there, and he looks down at the drawing pad, sees the book of balls. When he hears outside, join us. Huh? He peeks out the window. He closes his robe. And he's like, I'd better go outside and look round. So he does. It's all scary, and he goes outside. What the hell's that? He's out there, walks into the woods. He's like, yo! Who's out there? He walks out into the woods. It's all dark. And it's like, what are you doing, man? And in the forest, you can hear, oh, Otis, this can't be good. I know you're there. I heard that join us thing. And then trees start falling, and something is coming after him. Oh. And he's got to run. Oh, shit! He's running. Join us. Something's chasing him, and he's about to die of fright. Okay? Oh! And then the vines and the branches from the trees start moving.
Oh, shit.
They start sneaking along the ground. When they first come to him, the very first thing they do is pull his robe open. You can see his old, skinny, shivering legs. No! And then the vines wrap around his arms, and then around his neck.
Oh.
And they're ripping his robe. No! They rip his robe off in 2 pieces. They cut it neatly down the seam of the back. And then the vines carry it off into the woods like Toto and Poto. So now he's just in his nightshirt only. And all these vines, man, they're getting tighter. Ah, you know that. And then they get to it, and they wrap around his ankles, okay? And they pull him down onto his back.
Oh.
Woof. They rip open his shirt, and he's like, what the hell? And then the vines slowly pull his legs apart.
Oh, God.
Oh, hell no! And he like pulls them back together. And then the forest is like, come on. And then, whoom! It pulls them open again. And he's like laying there struggling. And then this one branch just goes, whoom! Right up his butt. And Otis's face like freezes in shocked ecstasy. And then it just cuts to the cabin. And Otis shows up screaming and banging on the door. Assy! Assy! The woods, they got me. They did me on my back. And the door is locked. And he's like, oh, no. He reaches up, get the keys. They put the keys back on top of the door. Oh. Does that mean they locked themselves in? So whatever evil is in the woods, it's coming. Oh. Open the door! The evil in the forest is just about to get to Otis when the door opens up and Ass lets him in. And then the evil just like retreats back into the forest. Oh, man. Otis! Oh my God, man, what happened? The woods got me. They got me on my back. Did me laying down. The woods, they alive. What? Did you say laying down? Yes. On your back? Yes. So, like a lady? Yes. Oh. And he's just crying. And Linda's like, okay, you know what, Ass? Just let me take him in the back to lie down. No. I don't want to lie down. Like ever again. Man, Assy, you gonna take me home now? Ah, come on, Otis, you're talking crazy, man. No. Okay, fine, I'll take you home, but man, will you listen to yourself? I don't care. So he takes Otis. They go and get in the car. First it doesn't start and it scares Otis, but then it starts up and they leave. And then for no reason, Ass just stops the car. And he gets out. He's like, stay here. Otis is like, what? And he's gone for a long time. Assy, you come back here now. He's nothing. So Otis gets out to go find him. And he finds the bridge has been like torn apart.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit. They're not going to let us go. They're not going to let us go. Assy. Assy shows up. He's like, my name is Ass. So we're back at the cabin, and Scott is outside chopping wood. Everybody else is inside. Ass is like listening to the tape, but this time with an earphone. I know now that my wife is possessed by a Dildarian demon. And the only way to stop it, I'm afraid, is bodily dismemberment. I'd leave, but I know the evil is coming for me now. While that's happening, Linda and Shelley, they're like playing some stupid-ass game where I hold up a card and you try to guess what's on it. And Shelley's like screwing with Linda, telling her she's getting them right, but she's lying. Otis is just shivering and looking out the window. Okay, what's this one? I don't know, 7 of hearts? You got it. Oh my God. Assy, I'm psychic. Yeah, that's great. I really think I have some kind of ESP, you know? Shelley's like, yeah, here's another one. Okay, and then without even looking at the cards, he's not even looking at them. Otis is staring out the window, and he just goes, 8 of spades. And it is.
Oh.
And Shelley starts like flipping through more cards. And Otis, he's still staring out the window. He's like, 8 of spades, two of spades, jack of diamonds, jack of clubs. Now give me some chips. Rah! And he just turns. And his eyes are all white. And his face is all like dead and demonic. Oh man. Scary ass shit.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, holy shit! And then Otis levitates into the air. And he's like, why have you disturbed our sleep, awakened us from our ancient slumber? And then he puts his hand out and like the bag of chips just flies out of Linda's hand into his hand. You will die. One by one we will take you. Ah! And then he just drops to the ground dead. He's just laying there. And everybody's like, just shocked. Oh my God. Scott walks in from chopping wood and he's like, hey, what's going on? They kind of creep over to Otis. Linda walks up to him and she bends down. Did you see his eyes, Ass? What's wrong with him? Ass is like, looking. Right then we see Otis's hand like moving, and then it grabs a pencil off of the floor. Nobody sees this happen. And then all of a sudden he just springs up and he's all like robotic movement, right? Uh-huh. And then just stabs it into Linda's ankle. Oh. And it looks fantastic.
It did.
Like that is actually one of the most shocking things in this movie. And this movie has tree rape. And he's like digging it around in her leg. She's like, ah! And she actually tries to grab the bag of chips. And then Otis like backhands her across the room. Ass is like, well, hang on a minute. And then boom, he gets knocked across the room too. And a bookshelf like falls down on top of him. Otis gets up and he starts coming for him. Scott tries to stop him too. And despite the fact he's holding an axe, he gets his ass knocked down. So Otis almost gets to Ass, all right? When Scott gets back up, hits him in the face with the butt of the axe handle, knocks Otis down, and then Otis tries to get up, and Scott just, boom, kicks him right in the face. And he just falls down the cellar steps. And then Scotty locks him down there. And, you know, there's chains, okay, that you can actually physically lock the trap door shut with. So they do that, and down in the cellar, you just hear, and it just cuts to Ass. Tucking Linda into bed. And now we see from Demon Otis's point of view, because he can still like lift the trap door up like a couple of inches, and he can like actually still talk to people and shit.
Yeah.
That's one of the scariest things about this movie.
I know.
So he's watching the other three out there, and he's like, "Rrr. Okay, you know what? It's going to be fine. We'll just leave in the morning, okay? We'll leave in the morning." Oh my God, his eyes! What happened to his eyes? And then outside, that evil presence starts flying around again, like there's more.
Right.
It ain't just Otis. Shelley's looking out the window. I think something's out there. Hey, listen, there's nothing out there. It's fine. Why don't you just go to bed, okay? So then she goes, to the bedroom. She has to, like, take the rubber sheets off. She makes up the bed, and then something breaks through the window. She screams. Scotty runs to go find out what's going on, and she is gone.
Oh.
So he, like, pokes his head out the window, is like, looking around. Oh, nope, she's not out there. There's, like, little scares, like, you can hear noises in the closet. He opens it up. There's nothing there. Stuff like that happens. He goes into the bathroom. The shower curtain is shut.
Oh.
So he walks up and he pulls it open. Nothing there. So then he turns around and gets his throat grabbed. So then there's Demon Shelley jumping all over him, trying to kill him and, eat his face and shit. And he's like, oh, God. They're struggling, like running through the house. And they end up in the living room. And in the floor, like, Demon Otis is like watching. And he's like slamming on the door. Boom, boom, boom. Like trying to bust out, but really more like just making some noise. Ass is watching this and he's like, what the hell? Scotty throws Shelley and her face goes into the fireplace. And it starts burning up. And And he's like, oh shit, that's my girlfriend. So he like pulls her out, and then demon ass Shelly, okay, with her face like totally burned off. And it's all like bloody muscle and shit. Yeah. Just looks up at him and goes, thank you. I don't know what I would have done burning my pretty flesh. You have pretty skin. Give it to us. And then she grabs him again. And it's like, why'd you pull her out? You knew what was happening. So she's choking. Demon Otis is still like, slamming on the door, baby. And then Shelly starts pushing Scotty's head into the fire. Join us. And then she grabs the Dildarian dagger. Okay, remember with the skeleton handle?
Oh, yes.
And she's about to stab Scotty with it, and he's holding it back, and it turns out Scotty's got a big-ass knife of his own behind his back. So he just pulls that shit out and starts cutting her hand off, like sawing on it. He cuts like halfway through, and then he just like throws her, like, deal with that. And she's like, Rah! And then she reaches up and bites her hand the rest of the way off.
Oh, God.
It is so cool, man. So that drops on the ground. You know, there's just a hand with a knife in it.
Yeah.
Az is just like watching in shock. Scotty grabs the hand with the knife in it and then stabs it into Shelly's back. And it kills her. She falls down. She's like squealing and shit. Oh, also, you can see blood like pouring out of the skeleton's mouth in the handle of the knife.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. So she's on the ground. It's awesome gore, man. And then all of a sudden she starts like spewing pussy milk out of her mouth.
Oh, it's so gross.
Going everywhere. Finally, she just dies. Scotty's like, oh, jeez. He walks up to her. She fucking wakes up and grabs him again. So she's got him. Ass now has the axe. And Scotty's like, hit her. Come on, man, hit her. Scotty has to grab the axe out of Ass's hands and then chop his girlfriend into pieces.
Oh.
Into like quivering pieces. While he's doing it, you can hear her like yelling like, no, you love her. It's weird. So he gets done and he's like covered in blood. Okay. And Ass is over there. He's just like, Scott? And Scott's just like, yo, what is this shit? Like, what do we do now, man? We're going to bury her. Ooh, you can't bury Shelly, man. She's a friend of ours. She's dead, Ass. Shelly's dead. So they drag her out in a sheet and they bury her in the front yard. Scotty like slams a cross into the ground and right then thunder rumbles. That's it. I'm leaving. You can't go, Scott. What about Linda? She can't leave with her foot like that. Well, she's your girlfriend, man. Okay, I know the bridge is out. There's got to be something else, some other way to get out of here. And I'm leaving right now. So you take care of her. I'm out. And he leaves. So now in the living room is just Ass and Demon Otis in the floor. Soon you gonna be all like that. And then who's gonna lock you in the cellar? Ass goes in and checks on Linda. He looks at her stab hole on her ankle, and it immediately just like starts infecting and then spreads throughout her body, and now she is possessed. But she's like her makeup makes her look like an evil doll.
Yes. Okay.
Like real rosy cheeks and like blue eyeshadow and shit. Mm-hmm. And she's all like, and it's like, ooh.
I know, that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
So he runs. He goes and opens the front door like, okay, that's it. Everybody's possessed. No human girls left. I guess I'll go find Scott. He opens the door and then Scott shows up. He grabs onto him and Scott is like all stabbed up and like he's got big gashes across his face and he's dying. He's like, oh my God, Ash, oh my God, get me in here. So he drags Scotty in and he drags him past Linda, who is just sitting on the floor. And he puts him on the couch. Ass, Otis, he was right. The woods, they're alive. We are going to die. Yeah, that's cool, Scotty, but listen, is there a way around the bridge? The woods tried to do me. No, listen. And he's like slapping Scotty. There's a way, a trail, but the trees, they know they're alive. And Otis is like, they tried to get you. He's in the floor laughing. Demon Linda's laughing. Shut up, Linda! Ass walks over and like punches Linda in the face like a good 3 or 4 times. She never stops laughing. And so he's like, all right, well, I don't know what to do now. Scott, dying on the couch, just goes, kill her. I go, yeah. And Otis is like, kill her if you can, lover boy. So Ass gets the shotgun. He walks up, points it at her face. God, forgive me. And then he can't do it. Oh, he drops the shotgun. And then all of a sudden, Linda's normal again. Oh, Ass, help me, please. And he's like, holy shit. Yeah, she stands up. He's holding on to her. It's like, it's going to be okay. Don't let them take me away again, Ass. Don't let them. No, don't worry. I'm not going to let them. And then from under the floor, Assy, Assy, help me. Let me out. I'm okay now. Assy, come on, let me out of here. Let me out of this cellar, and we can have nice times. So Ass like goes to the cellar door like, yeah, all right, it's gone, right? And then up through the floor is Otis's hand, and it just grabs him, and he's like, oh, let me out. Oh, shit. And Ass is like, why? Why are you bastards? Why? Why are you doing this? He turns around. Linda's possessed again.
Oh, no.
And she's just looking at him, smiling. She's got these white eyes, okay? She's like, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. Not another peep. Time to go to sleep. And he just like, God damn it. And he just like grabs her by the feet and just drags her out of the cabin. And she's laughing the whole time. And time will come for him, and then will come for you. And he just throws her out into the front yard, walks back inside, and shuts the door. It's awesome. So he walks up to Scott. He's got a glass of water for him, okay? He's trying to pour it into his mouth. He's like, okay, Scott, it's not going to be a problem. The sun's going to be up in like an hour, and then we can all go home. We can all go home together, me, you, Linda, Shelley. Well, not Shelley. But it's going to be okay. Right, Scott? Scott? And Scott is dead.
Oh.
He just sat on the couch and died. Ash looks out the window, and there's nothing there. And then he turns around, and there's Linda, who stabs him in the shoulder with the Dildarian dagger. So they struggle, and during the course of that, they knock Scott's body off of the couch, and it just like flops onto the floor. And now they're having a dagger fight. They struggle over by the cellar door, and then Otis's hand comes out, and he's like, grab it on to Ash's foot. Join us. Ash pushes the dagger she's holding behind her back, and then shoves her down, so she falls, and then she lands on it, and it like comes up through her body.
Oh.
Along with a whole bunch of pus milk coming out of her mouth. And then she dies. She doesn't move. So Ass drags her out of the house again, past Otis, who's like, and he takes her into the shed, okay? And there's this, he's got his little private little Frankenstein moment where he straps her down to the table and shit. They really fleshed that out more in the second one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like it's maybe a little mad scientist thing happening.
Yeah.
And then there's the chainsaw on the shelf. It's all big, red, and beautiful. He revs it up. Yeah. And while he's revving up, he's about to slice into her, and he sees the boob necklace. She's wearing it. He's like, oh, God. He can't do it. So he drops the chainsaw. Oh, Linda. He takes her back outside, and he is going to bury her. We know what happens. Inside, Otis is like, slamming on the door! So Linda's laying there while Ass is digging the hole, and she opens her eyes. You know, they're all white.
Yeah.
And then he turns around, and she closes them again. So they play that same game they were playing before when he had the necklace.
Yeah.
Inside, Otis finally breaks the door off of its hinges and is free.
Damn.
But Ass doesn't know that, so he throws Linda in the hole, and he buries her. And then he looks down on the ground, and there's the boob necklace. So he goes to pick it up, and then her hand comes up out of the dirt. He grabs him, okay, and he's like, oh shit. She comes up like, you know, the living dead rising, okay, and she is all pussy and nasty. She's spewing that shit all over the place, and he has to beat the hell out of her with a big wooden post. And he's just knocking this lady around. He ends up falling down, and she gets up and comes at him, and she's like, come to me. He grabs the shovel, swings it, and lops her head right off. And it lands like right in front of the camera. But the body is still attacking him, like on top of him and spewing blood out of its neck, like right into his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally it dies. So he goes back inside and finds the cellar door open, and he's like, oh, well, fuck my life. So he has to take the Winchester and go searching for Otis. And there's more like creaky doors and then nothing there and stuff like that. And then outside, Otis comes at him, like, you know, through a window or something, and attacks him. And he is all nasty looking. Ass shoots him, like in the belly.
Yeah.
So Otis falls down outside, but then gets up and keeps coming. And he's coming in the front door. So Ass has to slam the door shut, and it's like right onto his fingers. But it was just in time. So Otis he is now locked outside. And Ass is like, oh God, shells. Where's that box of shells? And we just cut to the cellar steps, baby.
Oh, God.
He's got to go downstairs. So he goes down there, and all those drip sounds are still there, like boink, 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 boink. On his way down the stairs, he like, whoa, falls. He slips on his ass and gets back up. Oh, okay, he's fine. And we see what's, all that water that was dripping earlier. Now all the pipes are dripping blood.
Oh, yeah.
And there's one joint in the pipes that's like tied up with a shirt. And he's like looking at it, and then it breaks open and floods blood right into his face. And everything in the house starts bleeding, like outlets, and electrical outlets.
Yeah.
And there's a cool thing where the light bulb that is on, like, starts filling up with blood.
That was so cool.
Yeah. There's also a projector downstairs that turns on, so there's like white light, and then this old timey record player starts like, he's like, shut up! Because he's starting to hear his friends' voices, like talking. He's starting to lose it. As he screams out, the projector explodes, the cool light bulb explodes with blood, and the music stops. And now there's just blood dripping. That's it. So he gets the shells, he loads up the gun, and goes back upstairs. And we get more of him, like, losing his mind. Like, the clock is like, bong, 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 and, like, spinning real fast, the hands. And the camera's, like, upside down, like, we're crazy now. Doors and shutters are slamming shut. He walks up to the mirror, and he's, like, looking at himself. And he touches his face, and then he touches the mirror, and his hand goes into it like it's water. And he's like, ah! He is now crazy. Then there's a shadow that just passes by the window, and he's like, ah! Boom! And just shoots it, shatters the glass. Why? Why are you torturing me like this? And then he can hear footsteps running around on the roof of the cabin.
Oh.
That's an easy thing to miss as a kid.
Yeah.
But that's scary. He reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out the boob necklace. He's looking at it. And he gets all sad. He's like, Linda. And then the clock just stops. And it's all silent. And then Otis's hands bust through the front door. And they grab him around the shoulders because he was leaning up against it. And it's like, join us. Oh. Ass just drops out of the hands. Okay. And he like tucks and rolls. He gets up, and through one of the holes, he can see Otis's face. Looking at him. And he just shoots it like right through the hole. And outside, we can see Otis has like this big bloody hole in his cheek. Roar! And then Ass like grabs a desk and he starts sliding it over to the front door and he pushes it up against it to barricade it, so Otis can't come in. And he's like, yeah, all right. And then behind him, Scotty sits up and he is possessed.
Damn.
Oh, dude, that is like my favorite scare in this movie. So he gets up and attacks him. So Ass, no rest. Ass is fighting him off. Otis is like, bang it on the door, let me in. Scotty actually picks Ass up and like lifts him up into the air, and then Ass just shoves his thumbs right into that guy's eyes.
Oh.
Like deep in, and it bleeds good. So Scotty like recoils, and we can see the ball sack book is on the floor. It's over near the fireplace. Ass is still struggling with Scotty, and he sees Scotty has a branch from a tree just like poking out of his stomach. So he grabs that and he pulls it out, and it goes like thump. And then all this blood just starts pouring out like a garden hose just turned on.
God.
It's so cool. And as the blood's pouring out, Scotty's like deflating. Now Ass sees the book, and then he sees the fire, and he's like, oh, all right. Otis busts in. All right, you motherfuckers, I'm ready to fuck. And he just hits Ass, who, goes flying, and he starts like crawling for the book. Scotty grabs his foot and pulls him back. Otis walks over to the fireplace and picks up the poker. And he comes over and just starts beating the shit out of Ass with it. Ass, taking the hits, he sees the boob necklace on the ground, okay? Because now that he got pulled back by Scotty, he can't reach the book, so he takes the necklace, and he starts, like, throwing it. He's holding on to it. He's trying to hook the book with it.
Yeah.
Otis is hitting him with the poker. Scotty starts biting into his leg.
Oh.
Ah! And then Ass finally hooks the book with the necklace, and then throws it into the fire. And then, both of them just freeze. And Otis is standing there with like the poker raised up over his head, and the poker just falls out of his hands.
Yeah.
And it goes bang on the floor. Ass is just watching him. And then Otis, like you hear bones cracking, and he's like looking down at him. He goes, and then his face just starts disintegrating. And it's done with stop motion, like claymation. Mm-hmm. Man, it's so cool looking.
I know.
He just starts disintegrating away, and you see all the layers of gore and blood and muscle and shit underneath.
It's like the climax of the movie.
Right.
The climax of the gore.
And it starts happening to Scott too. And then the ball sack book, it's doing it too. And it's got like, its balls are like moving around. So they're both dying, and there's like pus oozing out all over the place. Otis kind of like turns his head and looks down at Ass. And then this giant demon hand with these huge claws just comes out of his stomach. Like he was a portal. Okay? Yeah. It's crazy looking, man. It's so big. They're coming up out of Scott's body too. It is awesome. And you can hear like, you thought you heard some deep voices before, and that was a and then Otis just slowly falls forward and hits the ground, and when he does, his head explodes all over Ass's face. And then they both continue to disintegrate, and they just turn into green and yellow crap on the floor. And as they're dying, finally, we hear, join us, join us. And it just fades away. So Ass is now covered in blood and pus.
Yeah.
And he stands up, and he goes, we see the sun's coming up. He walks outside, and there's birds chirping. The sun is up, and all the clock is now ticking normally. And he like looks down at the boob necklace like, all right. And there's this happy, you did it music playing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did do it. All my friends are dead, but I did it.
Oh.
And then we're off in the woods somewhere, and then the camera starts moving through the woods again.
Oh.
And it's all like shooting through it, okay? And we finally see the cabin, and it busts through the back door. It flies through the cabin, and then out the front door, we see Ass turn around, and he starts screaming, and then the camera just like goes right into his face. And he's like, ah! And then the credits roll, baby.
Woohoo! Good job, Ron.
Hey, thanks.
That was fucking awesome.
Yep, there you have it. The Evil Dead on Movies with Ron.
It is going into my pile of favorite episodes.
Oh, well, thank you.
I just love this movie. Ash gets tortured.
I know.
And unlike Evil Dead 2, it is supposed to be horrifying.
I know.
And it is. You know, the effects were not cutting edge. It was 1981. But Sam Raimi pulled out everything he possibly could in this movie.
Yeah.
And the use of the milk, if it was all blood, it just wouldn't have been as effective. It was just really unsettling visually.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
You know?
Yeah, it is nasty.
Yeah. And all of those images, this story itself has become a staple of horror movies.
Absolutely.
Yes. When I was like 7 years old, I was alone with our mom, and she was rewarding me for something, and she took me to the video store and let me pick out anything that I wanted to watch.
Wow.
And I picked The Evil Dead, and I watched it by myself.
Awesome.
And it traumatized me. By the time I got to the claymation face melting, I couldn't even move. I couldn't look away. I didn't know what to think. I had never seen anything like that before. Oh, it stuck with me. It scared the crap out of me.
I was a really little kid, and I have this memory of peeking around a corner and seeing on screen the pencil stabbing into the foot.
Really?
And it scared the hell out of me. And even like I knew I was like so young. I knew, whoa, that is not for me. And then for years, I didn't know what that was from until I saw this movie later.
All right, folks, if you're using Apple Podcasts or iTunes, you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. We're on all your other favorite podcast apps and movieswithron.com. There's a Facebook page. We got Twitter, @movieswithron. So check us out. It's been fun.
See you guys.
Yep, we love you and happy Halloween.
Movies with Ron.
I forgot to tell you guys. I was going to bed like a couple weeks ago, and like I do my bedtime ritual.
Of course.
Well, I take my glasses off. I got the lamp on the table by the bed. I'm nearsighted, so everything's blurry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking across the room, reaching to turn off the lamp,
Uh-huh.
and I see a shape. And it's a big shape. And I'm like, fuck, I want to go to sleep, but I can't. I put the glasses back on, and it's a spider as big, if not bigger, than the one we had in that stinger.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, where's Ron and Candy? This is my test. I passed the test. Fucking got that asshole.
Good job. Oh, Lord.